how to qualify as an ACCA member if you've been to university. Well, you've clicked on the right video, as you have two qualified ACCA members who went to university. We're going to share our experiences and the trials, tribulations, the mistakes, so you don't have to make them as well. But I've got to introduce you to Omar. Thank you so much for coming on the channel today and for sharing your insights.
No problem, James. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so do you want me to introduce myself, James?
You go for it. The floor's yours, man.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Omar. I am newly qualified, just as James mentioned, and I went through the university route into qualifying as an ACCA member.
Wicked on there. So I also went to university, gained some exemptions, did the bog standard accounting and finance program on there. But I mean, Omar, talk us through your experience. The guys are here to hear you. It's a case of how did you go about maybe claiming the exemptions? Did you have a little break after university? How was it finding maybe a study contract or a job? You kick us off.
So my story is basically graduated university in 2019, and I'd gained, fortunately, 9 exemptions, which is quite a lot actually. And I had a funny story where we had two members of the ACCA come into our university and really sell the ACCA course to us. And that's when I realized that I definitely want to pursue the ACCA qualification. But the problem was that I needed a job that was going to fund my education.
Hmm.
And that's really a big ask, especially when you have zero experience and you're basically competing with thousands and thousands of students. And I don't know if you've come across this problem. A lot of entry-level positions actually require 2 years worth of experience. So just breaking into jobs, entry-level jobs are really challenging in the
Hmm.
UK.
Oh, definitely on there. And that's why you got to get so proactive on LinkedIn, trying to find some internships. I went and worked in America for 3 months in a business office out there. Anything to help you stand out. And also you have to pay for your exemptions. So that's either you pay for it, or if you go onto a study contract, which I imagine you probably did like I did, where the employer will pay for your exemption fees and then other study expenses as well. But how did you go about your exemptions, Omar, and the
So
studying from it?
yeah, so I didn't actually, just to correct you, I didn't actually get a job that gave me a study contract.
Oh,
I
wow.
could have potentially got a job, but what actually happened was I quit my retail job because I thought I really need to focus on getting a job. And I got a little contract temporary role for a month just to break into the industry. And then
Hmm.
that helped me gain a proper job, a permanent role.
Mm.
And with that permanent role, I got that job in December 2019. And then the pandemic happened in March 2020. So I was potentially going to be given the study contract, but it just felt, because the company was so small, it felt inappropriate to ask, can you fund my education? And the pandemic happened, people were put on redundancies.
Mm.
So in regards to your question in relation to the exemptions, the exemption process was very simple. I contacted the ACCA, actually phoned them, and they told me to email through my certificates.
Hmm.
And I think before I even did that, I used their calculator just to see how many exemptions I could gain. But all the information is on the ACCA website, and
Yeah.
the ACCA are fantastic and responding to you at a good point, at a good time.
Yeah, I can put that calculator in the description of this video, or leave us a comment down there, guys. But let's get on to the exams then. As to you've been to university, then you're getting stuck into working full time and doing the exams. How did you cope with it? What are the lessons that you could help someone else out who's maybe just graduated?
Yeah, so the great thing about university, it equips you with the ability to learn. So at university, you are spending a lot of time independent learning. So I was quite fortunate that I was able to work fully remote from home. So what I would tend to do is the time wasted that you would put into just getting ready, ironing
Hmm.
your shirt, commuting to work, those hours and hours of going back and forth to the office, I spent that revising in the mornings. So because I'm such a morning person, I enjoy being up really early. I try to make studying basically a habit because, as everyone knows that's watching the videos, that the ACCA requires a lot of effort. And
Mm,
I thought, how do I make this amount of effort effortless, basically? And basically, the simple way of doing that is making studying a habit.
mm.
So that's basically sat down in the same place every single day and studied, basically.
Wicked. No, really good advice there because when you go from the university environment to then the work and maybe you're living in your own place or shared accommodation, you've just got to find that environment that you sit down. And when I sit there, that is what I do. And when I graduated, I was working in a small firm. I used to go to a public library after work on there. We had a boardroom at work where apart from the board meetings, nobody went in there. So I went, oh, okay, well, I'll just go and study in there then because it's quiet. That's what else am I going to be doing in there?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And I think there were times where I did have to go to the office. I would just bring a textbook or my own personal laptop and do the exact same thing that you would do. Just find a quiet space at work and just open up your laptop and just plug away revising.
Nice. And in terms of the exams, how'd you get on? Did you find the process difficult? How did it all sort of go?
So for me, it went fairly very positive. It was every exam, all first time passes, but
Wow.
I attribute that to the fact that the effort. It was just the studying, the structure, the routine. These are
Mm,
all really important things, especially when you're balancing a full-time job,
mm,
personal things outside of life. I think structure and routine are the number one. I personally think the difference between someone who passes and there could be numerous factors. People have different things going on in their life, but I would attribute the someone who passes, someone who fails, effort. I think that's the difference.
yeah. And I agree completely with you. And it's that organized effort as well, because going from an environment of just university, very structured on there, to responsibility, commitments at work, and then the other things as well, because you just don't want to fail exams and you have to tell your colleagues about it, all these sort of things. You just go to yourself, oh my word. And then balancing all of that time, really, really tough. How did you get on with that?
So the time balance, do you know actually what you lose out on at university and what you don't have when you start a full-time job is the community. So what I try to do is I try to reach out to ex-co-workers. I try to reach out to people within my own organization that were studying
Mm,
because at university, what people tend to do is go to the library, you
mm,
have a community, you can study with people. And when you're doing the ACCA at professional level exams, there aren't many people that you can
mm.
revise with, but there are a lot of great resources. The internet, Reddit, there are a few pages. I think the ACCA have a section where you can reach out to other ACCA members. So these are all great things that I would.
Brilliant. Yeah, yeah. It's one thing I was thinking about doing on the channel, maybe doing some more live sessions where people can just come along and have a chit chat and stuff, and I can just answer questions, to be honest. So
Yeah.
if you want that, guys, feel free to leave it in the comments below on there. But Omar, are there any final points that we've just got to get on record that is going to help a student who's come out of university, going into doing their ACCA and getting them qualified? What are there any things that we've maybe missed out that spring to your mind?
I think the biggest thing is belief. I think the fact that you might think that there might be a gap in your knowledge because you've come from a university environment and you've never done an ACCA exams, especially those exam pass rates that you see, for
Mm,
APM, was it 33%?
mm,
And I think for me, I personally did that exam and I think that it was such a scary thing having that over your head that the majority of people fail that exam and I'm an average student. So I think the biggest thing that you could do as an ex-university student is belief. Have
fantastic.
belief.
Yeah, fantastic. And reach out, try and find other students in the same ballpark as to be like, we're all in this together. So why don't we help each other out? There are free webinars out there, as you said. I think it's the ACCA student community online you can use as well. All of that, use it to your advantage. And even just a little thing to get on record is the ethics and professional skills module
Yeah.
that ACCA have. And they actually document it on their website that students who are doing the strategic professional exams, that's ACCA, SBL, SBR, and your two option papers, if you've done your ethics and professional skills module, you are, I think it's 30, 40% more likely to pass the exam itself. it's a no-brainer on there.
That's a really good point, actually, because James, I literally saw that from your own website. So literally the first thing I did was the ethics and performance module because I think it is on their website. It says
Mm,
25% more likely to
yeah.
pass your exam if you do that first. So that's definitely something I would recommend. Do your ethics module before you do your professional level exam.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. I'm glad you agree with me. That helps.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Well,
Great.
thank you so much, Omar, for coming on the channel today, sharing all your insights. I really, really appreciate it. And guys, if you want access to all the free videos, just subscribe and give this video a massive like. But leave us any comments that you have. We'll be more than happy to help. And it's just lastly for me to say thank you again, Omar, for spending your time and sharing your wisdom today.
No problem. Thanks again, James.
Lovely. Cheers, guys. Best of luck with your exam, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.